Oh, whoops, wrong thing. Hi, hello everybody.
Hi everyone.
Welcome to the freaking 9th stream of this. Welcome to the 9th Post-Homestuck discussion stream. Hopefully the penultimate installment. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see how that goes. We'll see how much we get done. Which, okay, it's been crazily enough because of all the like delays and me wanting to do other things like in a row. Because of all that, it's been a month since the last one, which is crazy that time just kind of adds up like that, but yeah, it happened. Yeah, God, there's... Okay, I know this is not related to this point of the stream, but I want to say something here. It is kind of scary how little I am able to do in, like, thing, because like I always see stream, and obviously it's like full-time streamers, so it's not a fair comparison, but I always see others do so much more in so like such a smaller amount of time, and I'm just I can't find the time or like motivation to always be streaming, or like time with, you know, co-hosts and stuff, and it's like I know I shouldn't feel bad about it, but somehow the feeling still creeps up on me. But I know I shouldn't feel bad about it, but it still does. Anyway, hi everybody. Sorry for to start on a downer. I was just thinking about it. Hello JL, hello Doc, hello Cookie, hello Chia Tree, hello JG Enigma. Well, Chia Tree can't hear us, but that's okay. Hello JG Enigma, hello General Mituna. And that's everybody. I have pneumonia, so I can't do pee, but I don't think I'll disagree because of the... I see. I mean, I still don't know if you can hear me, but I see. Time flies so fast, yeah. It's like freaking 9 days into 2025 when that doesn't even feel like a real number still. What do you think, Luna?
I think that is on the spot.
Okay. For some reason, I can't fix your little thing. For some reason, it still doesn't want to move. I don't know why. Like it's marked as speaking images. I don't know. I really don't know why it doesn't work. Michael Guy Bauman's Homestuck tracks are releasing on streaming services tomorrow. Really? Did he like just collect all of them, or was it James Roach's doing? Since I know that he wanted also to like do something of like, you know, gathering so like the people, like the people that made music for something. Like either way, that's pretty crazy. Also, tell me if I'm like my voice is speaking too much, because like last time I replayed the stream we did earlier this week of Disco Elysium, and my voice went like way into my ears when I was rewatching that way more often than I thought that it would, and the game was way too quiet in comparison. And I just didn't know that was the case, so I hope it's like better this time. I did adjust the settings a little, but I don't know if it's like enough. So please tell me about that.
Well, we won't really get to hear any game this time.
Well, yeah, but I guess yeah. As far as I know James Roach or What Pumpkin I know had no hand in this. It's on Bauman's accord. I see. That's interesting. Speaking of, you should listen to his newest album. It's actually really good. It slaps. My favorite track is Vampire State. It's very good. Vampire State. Okay, Homestuck.
I can confirm though, she did make me listen, or like tell me to listen to one of his tracks, and they were indeed very cool.
Okay. Hold on a second. There we go. So, Act 6, Act 5, and Intermission 5. We've already went through Act 6, Act 5. I'm gonna stream to you in a second, Luna.
Yeah.
And we started Intermission 5. Intermission 5 in general is like a really interesting part of the comic, considering that just how much switching happens. It kind of reminds me of like the earlier the acts before Act 6, and just how much it switches between people and flows. But and it is definitely a lot of setup just in general for like future stuff, a lot of exposition too. But it's cool. I like it. I think that, well, we'll get to it when we'll get to it. I do enjoy it a little more than the build up to Game Over, I'll say. This whole part. I know that's a bit weird of a thing to drop, and I do have a reason, but I don't know if I'll remember to talk about it when we come to that actual point in the comic. So blah. Okay, time to skip around the pages like we always do. Oh yeah, this. I remember whenever we first came to this, I thought that it was really cool that we were exploring like what it looks like really close to the cracks themselves, and I don't remember if I commented about it, but I do remember being really confused about this. Like, is the ocean itself here like part of anybody's memory, or is it just water manifesting in the cracks just because? Or is this part of a dream bubble? Is this just in general out in space? I wouldn't know. I remember being confused about this. Many videos of people touching. Got your Carcat plush today, Mituna. Holy hell, that's amazing.
Whoa, nice.
Please treat him kindly. Yeah, I agree, dog. The recent few days filled me with dread from the realization that we will actually be getting Deltarune Chapter 3 and 4 very soon. No, yeah, 100%. Once we get a release date, I will certainly be replaying through Deltarune Chapters 1 and 2 on the channel, which obviously I have on my own time before I started streaming here. But I'll be replaying for the channel and then streaming that. I think that would be cool. Most likely is probably Vriska's during her flower days with Aaaaand. That also is possible. I mean, considering the cerulean color, the sheep. Yeah. Kakat plush resales on eBay are like $200. It's so dreadful.
Oh,
I considered buying one to be honest. So cool colors.
I should have bought one. I should have bought one. I bought the girlfriend plushie from 29 Franklin.
I know, I saw your post about it.
Hmm.
Anyway, freaking Pirates Troll Gang. This is a really cool like piece of it. Okay, poor Tavros first of all. But I do remember enjoying the interactions here. Obviously, as always, we're not going to gonna go through all of the dialogues, just general impressions from what I remember. But it was really cool to just like see characters like this grouped up outside of a game. Because other than this, in more recent times, it's just been open bounded. Before that, I guess the talk with Mina. And other than that, it was just Aaaaand's exposition. Like we didn't get to see much of actual interactions there, other than like Dave just saying, "Hey, this is what the hell is happening around us," right? So here we do get a little John Veriska moments, and we get to see these two again. God, I'm
Nice.
so.
Very good. Yeah.
I know that there wasn't much of a plan here for them, but the fact that they just again, I feel like Aradia just could have been such a more prominent character, other than I want to see what happens when everything burns down, or whatever the quote was. We'll see. We'll get to it this time around, but. Man, it was still nice to see her here, and with Solux no less. I feel like that was something that this part of the comic could have just ignored very easily. I mean, maybe that's just my pessimism talking, but I do feel like Aradia not appearing with Solux could have just been a thing that happened in the rest of this comic, just Solux nowhere near Aradia. That's a very scary reality. Arasol Peak was done dirty. I'll never let it go. Yeah, I recognize that. Again, Homestuck has too many good characters with not with arcs that they didn't even have fully start, and then died before they get to do anything. Too many good characters for their own good. And this, okay. Obviously weird, right? not exactly any permission from these people here. I remember. Okay, I won't talk about it much here because I actually don't have too much to say about it. But it is a bit weird, right? Like just they wanted to first recruit people, then just do whatever, mind control. Despite them actually having people rally around the both of them during mini strife, that feels a bit weird, right?
Hmm.
Not really all that moral lel. Sees Aerosol overwhelmed with peaks, so hard I pass out, yeah. Tavros, what the hell happened? He's trying to make John seem less cool. God, I forgot that he tried to do that. I mean, I get it, right?
Yeah, yeah.
I'm very glad you brought this up because I was just in the middle of a wonderful story about this very subject. John doesn't know. John doesn't know yet. God. Okay. Okay. I really, yeah, because this is the Cherub exposition part. I like what they set up here about him. It's just a little bit of a shame that it does have to be like this and only this. It does feel like after a couple pages, it does feel like we're just getting this shoved down our throats a little, just so we know. Which again, I appreciate because I do think that this is cool, but it's just, part of it could have been told like this, part of it maybe through some kind of actual flashbacks. Just the format of Arana yapping about it. Obviously, part of the point, she is Yap Master 3000, but still. You know what I mean, right? It gets a little tiring. even if it's really cool. Okay, I'll actually switch the music for this because I think it deserves it. Let me see.
Let's do.
Let's do like constant confinement from Cherubim. Okay, gosh, we have messages in chat. Oh, Doc is speaking. Okay, Doc is speaking, have to read. Okay, first of all, these ghosts you're seeing, I believe it's almost entirely Aaaaand doing, despite Vriska wanting you to believe it's a group effort. I kind of... It feels that way. I don't remember if there was anything about that, though. As if circuits would know what consent is. They could learn, come on now. Weaponized helplessness is no excuse. Remember, Vriska can't even mind control a Radia or Terezi. That's the thing, We'll talk about it later with Damara, but it's still weird that those Damaras were mind controlled to me. It's still really weird. Makes Aaaaand more sinister, but yeah. That's kind of also the thing, right? Because it does feel like this part is trying to set up Aaaaand as more morally dubious for what happens later, right? But it still feels like, oh, part of it, like, it less feels like setup for her being more morally dubious and more feels like the comics still trying to like, you know, make her seem like, oh, you know, cool good guy that did a bad thing and then not acknowledging the bad thing. That's kind of more what it feels like, but I recognize that it's an effort to, you know, set that up. Homestuck isn't always good with setting up, you know, trying you to see that a character might be bad in the future. Thinking about Mina and Vriska here. Lord. And now, like, in a certain aspect bad, at least, you know what I mean, in a certain aspect. Okay, let's read more of Doc's ramblings, which are very enjoyable. And now the elephant in the room. I already went over this in a comment, but the abridged version is, I do not believe that Aaaaand was corrupted by Vriska. What I believe is happening is Aaaaand merely being nice to her so that she doesn't lose her newfound friend. Not too different from how she always uses fish pants around Mina. I realized that. That's actually, okay, the fish pants around Mina thing. It's definitely something that's present within her, where she's like able to bend herself like that. The fact that we do only see that with two people is that it does like make me squint my eyes a little as to if that is the intent. But yeah, I don't know. I recognize the reasoning behind that though. Vanren says, oh hi Vanren, it's crazy that there's two circuits just casually do what took someone like Taylor Herbert 2 million words of losing all her morals to do. Mass mind control, this is very disturbing and can't get over how just gets glossed over. That's again, that's the thing. I feel like it's trying to set this up as like, okay, we don't know exactly why, where this came from, but she's willing to do this sort of thing, right? And then maybe suggests something towards like, oh, maybe she doesn't have like all like doesn't have morals all figured out on her own. Maybe I don't know how to really describe it.
Mm-hmm.
But then they do kind of just gloss over it, which makes it feel like less significant, and then later whoops. I don't know. And no, Craft, she's not tiring at all. You take that back right now. I'm not saying Aaaaand is tiring. I'm saying the framing is a little tiring. I think that if they like made the yapping a bit more like interspersed and stuff, or like maybe part of it was a bit different. Okay, we'll talk about it when we'll get to it. But I really think that this part would have really benefited from like a hard cut to a proper Gamzee POV, but we'll get to that when we'll get to that. And can I just say that the panel of Aaaaand where she says, I'm glad you brought this up, warms my heart, she's so happy. No, I mean, that's that's nicer to say at least, I guess. I feel like this part was definitely taking stabs at Aaaaand's morality, but they're not exactly being deliberate about it. Yeah, that's the thing. Because you can also make all of those arguments about Mina later, how she's like, oh, she just doesn't consider anything very hard. She doesn't treat any issue very concretely very hard, and what this and this and this and chain of events. You could make that argument, and I've heard people make that very convincingly, but it's still like the framing of the story doesn't do a very good job at setting that up for the reader, I feel. Because that ruined the mood. It's either these two people or nobody at all, and she's already been alone for millennia and most likely before the game. No, I'm not. I'm not saying that's that. I still feel like that they could manage to they could still manage the mood there. I feel. Fullbound, hello. OMG, I finally got a Homestuck stream. Hello, Fullbound. I'm assuming you know the series, but yeah, we're just going through pages without really reading any of the dialogue, just remembering how I felt about the pages when I first got to them. There is a lot to talk about, surprisingly.
Yeah.
Did you watch the latest Sakon stream? Oh wait, did the freaking New Year's presentation happen? I didn't actually realize. I should go look at that. Yeah, because the main event is obviously in summer, but around New Year's they have like a secondary presentation of like in general just like projects. That's how I found out about the freaking UMSPA-F project that I am part of, which still hasn't released, which is a shame, but hopefully soon.
The what thing that you're part of?
Unofficial MSPA fans project, new album thing. Blah.
Right, true. I forgot. It will release at some point.
Personally, don't believe for a second that somebody who has existed for eons and has therefore seen everything and everybody could get persuaded like that in a matter of days, hours. No, okay, I don't my point never... Well, okay, I realize that you're responding to people that they have made that point, but I will say that I don't think that it's entirely just like Vriska whispering in her ear like a little evil devil or something to do that. I don't think that's what happened. Okay, Doc, I apologize, but it does feel like to me she was Arana was a little predisposed to already doing this sort of thing. I don't know. In some way, I don't know. What would you think if Arana did what did because the original Ghost Army plan failed and she decides to justify the means of I don't know how to answer that. Alright, now back to what we're seeing. Remember when you thought this was Calliope? Yeah. Oh, no, that's something I brought up on my own. I think that comes later, specifically during the hug scene. Uh-huh. Okay. And yeah, I do remember. I remember when for a very long time I thought that all of this happened in the... Because I assumed that the plan to move Earth to Condes's domain, I guess, succeeded, and I kept assuming that the Earth that we saw the cherubs be on was in the Alternia universe. I remember I kept assuming that just because that was all of that's what all of my evidence that I had you know access to was pointing towards. Yeah, talking about predomination, one half of poop will prove stronger. I do think that this is very cool history, especially since it's showing us such a different perspective. I especially like this entire sequence because it's showing us like a grander space within one universe, you know? Whenever we're talking about like, oh, this, cosmic that in Homestuck, we're usually just focused on like one planet, one star system, if you can call an Incipisphere a star system. And then, you know, one planet to represent an entire universe. But here we see, and obviously now knowing this is Universe C, we know that, okay, cherubs must be native to Universe C, and they fly around these planets that have been since, I guess, colonized by trolls, I guess, and probably also other beings from other from Earthsea. Which could also include, you know, carapacians, humans, consorts. I just think that's cool. Again, you know, getting to see more space than just the Earth within one universe. And hey, backer trolls. I remember there is this person at uni, which I have talked a little about Homestuck with, not because they actually know, but because they think
Oh
that
my
it's
god, I
funny.
just try to indoctrinate them.
I have tried to indoctrinate them, but but it haven't been successful yet. It's just that
Oh.
they think it's funny that they met a fan of Homestuck in uni of all places. Like they always felt that at some point it would creep up on them, and it happened. That like it was like an event that they anticipated at some point. Apparently, I just
That's
thought that
pretty
was
good. That's
funny.
pretty good.
And this whole thing was like one of the only things they know about the comic, which I also think is pretty funny.
Weirdly enough, I think like this panel is like very widely, not very widely, but it's known outside of the fandom for some reason.
Well, no, yeah, because it's just in general related to the Hive Swap Kickstarter, and that also has a lot of discussion like with people outside of the fandom, you know,
Hmm.
for known reasons. Dogs are insightful, actually making me see another different right. Very cool. Wow. Don't worry, Kraft. It's perfectly fine if you don't agree. This is merely my take, and I don't expect to change anyone's mind. Okay. Because I will say, while I see all of your like you know the way where you came to all of your conclusions about Arana, it does feel like to me personally, how I see her, it does feel a little like you're sugarcoating her character a little. But I'm not saying that you are. I'm saying that based on my own thoughts about her and feelings, even after reanalyzing and thinking about what she did again after these streams, it still feels that way to me based on my own feelings. I'm not saying that that's an objective fact I'm stating, though, right? You can think whatever you want if you have those reasons to. I mean, especially if you have those reasons to, you can feel whichever way you like. It would have been years between Aaaaand and Vriska for Romino. No, yeah. This lore dump was pretty insane. Legendary battle of pure good and pure evil with extremely powerful beings. Damn. I do again. Yes, the scale of it all. It's really cool, and how like just how actually epic the tale is. It does remind me a lot of how the ancestors were discussed, except they're much shorter here. Well, not exactly shorter. It has probably about the same amount of text. It's just that it's talking about two individuals instead of a whole array of people. Which again, I'm still very, very impressed with the entire ancestor storyline in Homestuck, considering that somehow that feels like one of the more fully told parts of the comic, despite there being so little info about them. I think that's cool. 10k, God. Imagine paying $10k just for your receipt to get the last. You can only last 2 pages. I do think that was disclosed on the Kickstarter, though. I do think that it was disclosed that these characters would only last a page.
I mean, if it wasn't, that would be like more than a scam.
We got lots of fan art of these two, so it wasn't all for naught. Yeah, I have seen some. Weapons? Kind of looks like that, the nunchucks. Huh. It's perfectly fine, everybody has their own views. I'm here to hear what you have to say after all. Okay, thank you. Gosh, okay. Just putting aside the fact that this probably could have been split up, this part and later the cherubs we know, the cherubim we know, those two parts could have been split up a little more. But still, this whole thing, super cool. Seeing adult cherubs, like, outside of the context of one being Lord English, super cool. Seeing them have wings, considering the angel inspiration, super cool. Seeing the Technicolor magic, super cool. I'm still wondering if this is the actual, like, clockwork magics, if the freaking rave lights are what clockwork magics are. because we get mentions of it multiple times, you know, also in association with the Demoness, and I still don't know. I remember recently talking with Azure about Clockwork Magics, where we talked a bit about how there could be a possible like relation of those to god tier rules and god tier dying, considering that, hold on, let me look it up. No, actually, hold on, I don't want to get rid of this by page. Whenever in Act 5, Act 2, whenever John dies, hold on, where the hell is it? Because it's already in the Doc Scratch part, I think. Can the application please work? Can it not lag? Can it lag not? I don't want it to lag, please. Okay.
Bad.
Actually, no, wasn't it earlier? Hold on, where did... Okay, John was about here, yeah. So tick tock, and then stops in the middle, and we see, you know, these very familiar shapes, being all of these colors and stuff, and it is on a clock. It's related to a clock, so we were wondering if this is also an example of clockwork magics, if maybe like whenever it's a dumb death, whenever a... What the hell was that? If if whenever a god tier revives because of a dumb death instead of a just or a heroic one, is this an example of the of clockwork magics? It's... What the hell was that?
I told you, it's my phone. I'm gonna mute it now.
Okay. I just thought that was an interesting thought, considering all of Lord English's magic and maybe how that relates to something. Because I'd love to know more about them in general, because we honestly don't know that much about Lord English's arsenal when you think about it, right? Like in Escolide itself, we only see him really, you know, do his big mouth blast and then just punch people around a bunch. And other than that, he doesn't really use any like time related powers or anything, despite being a Lord of Time. And he doesn't even... we don't really see any expanded you know, clockwork magics either. So it would just be really cool to maybe at some point learn about that. Like, again, hoping for that whole wizardology book to at some point be real, because that would be really cool. Because I don't know if you guys know, but James Roach at some point mentioned on Twitter that he thinks that the idea of like a book explaining missing links in like spurb mechanics and related things and stuff would actually be really like a really cool thing to, you know, have and make. But he wasn't promising anything. He was just saying that the idea seems cool to him. But I am praying that something like that will happen at some point, because I do think that it would be cool. He did mention that it would also be an interesting opportunity to weigh in a little more officially on classes, for instance. I do think that would be cool to see.
Yeah, I would buy that so quickly.
I would buy that quicker than Karkat plushie, which I didn't buy at all.
So maybe you would buy it in like 15 years. You would buy it.
The whole part is awesome. I mean, I have a Hollow Knight book and 2 Undertale books. Okay, it's fine if I had a Homestuck book. I think that would be fine.
The only book I have right now is the Stardew Valley one, because I gifted the Hollow Knight one to a friend.
Dang, PM and Beck Noir have a really green here /JK reel. Also, hello, DS Irae Nation. What's DS Irae? I feel like I've seen those words before somewhere.
I still wanna try and buy the old editions of the Homestuck books, just because I'm dedicated to collecting them all.
Right, because you do have some of them.
I have all of the new ones. I have like the 6 new ones and the epilogues book. But I want the old versions, the one that costs almost
the old
$100
versions,
each.
the old. Oh,
yeah,
with like the grist numbers on the covers.
Yep.
Oh
I
my
want
gosh.
those. I want those.
Oh my gosh, that would be.
There's 3 of those, and I want them.
That would be crazy.
They're resold for around $80 each now.
Less than I expected,
they're only
honestly.
gonna go up.
Less than I expected, honestly.
Hang on, let me check right now. While you do
Such a
things,
cool
then I
panel.
will
I'll
check.
talk about it in a second. We saw how there was only red and green cheeks, but I like to headcanon that there can be other colors, and the real determining fact of whether the cherub is good or evil is the color of the tongue.
Turns out they went up since the last time I looked them up. Book 2 is going for 295 euros right
Oh
now.
my god, okay. I guess the
Yeah,
collectors have gotten
maybe I'm
wise.
not doing it anymore.
That'd be funny. I do remember. Okay, if I actually read these, I could probably like actually find out about it. But I do remember there were like specific relations to if the this one wins, then this, and this, and this one will be this one, and this one will be this one, and the kid, whatever. Right? I don't remember exactly. But
Hmm.
okay, we know that obviously there is a lot you could say about cherub romance, whether gosh, it's been so long that I can't even pronounce it.
Kismet.
Kismet. I don't remember how the letters go. Hold on.
Kismet.
Kismesitude, yes, Kismesitude. I forgot how the letters
Hmm.
went, like in which order. Cancel me. I'm not a real Homestuck fan. Uh, Obviously, you could like argue with that, considering some of the stuff that Kali says. But ignoring that, in terms of just actual cherub like interaction, the fact that Spades is the only love that they have, or like the one that's most natural, I do think that's really interesting. And I just love this. The freaking the snakes, the all of the power radiating off of them, so cool. I remember seeing a redraw of this panel in one of the Homestuck redraw panel redraw signs, and god, that looked so cool. I forget which artist it was, but this is just incredible. Hate snog, absolutely just the most vile hate snog ever. So
Man.
cool. This is like a symbol from Neverending Journey. Is that what the book is called? I forget. That's where the rainbow drawing of John came from. I was wondering about that. I didn't remember seeing it. Wow. During that one day, I'll get my hands on a light aspect hoodie.
Okay, so turns out I can't find any reselling of book 1 ever at all
Wow.
right now.
People
And
just...
book 3 is going for new for 312 euros.
Oh, wow. Did the Karkat plush's side profile deter you? At first, yeah, but then I fell in love with it. I figured that I just didn't want to do it anyway. That felt wasted, but almost made sense. The part of LE that's Caliborn must definitely much rather cool explosions and punches than smart time magic. I guess, yeah. But that's the thing also. Lord English. Okay, here's the thing. We don't get much actual Lord English characterization in the comic, but this is my own imagining of the character, obviously, so take it with a grain of salt. But I'd want to imagine that he is he is still the same hateful person, but like still an older man, you know? Like in the way that he would actually consider strategizing in some way instead of just going balls in. I don't know, just it's...
I always thought of him as strategizing once he, does go into his sarcophagus.
I don't... That's also the kind of the thing, because we don't... we know that he just spent years and years and sweeps and sweeps and sweeps and sweeps and sweeps and sweeps and sweeps, like just hanging out on the green moon, right? Just kind of pulling strings, which again, like I said before, I would love to see more of that aspect of the character. I would love to see more of him actually being like that puppet master that we are kind of, teased him to be. Like, just so many things that Homestuck just kind of sets up and doesn't explore, which again we've already talked about. And interestingly enough, So I still haven't looked at the commentary, right? I still haven't looked at most of the commentary, but Azur has been reading it. He got his hands on like a spreadsheet with all of the new book commentary, and surprisingly enough, there are a lot of those notes in which Hasi expresses the like it's a shame that that the comic didn't delve into this. It's a shame that this and this. Gosh, it's like I want to be mad, but also this is a person that, in some aspects is absolutely incredible at planning stories, and in some aspects absolutely sucks. I want to be mad, and I want to be, blame them, and I want to, would want the story to be, explore this and this and this and that. But I also know that I would be the kind of person to just not be able to manage all of this properly. So I don't know how to feel exactly, honestly.
How could you blame them for not being able to manage all of this?
I don't know, I figured they are some kind of sick genius. Whatever.
Well, I mean, yeah, you kind of have to be to make something like this.
I don't...
Yeah.
So this is outright...
What do you mean? Of course you do. Of course you do.
Blum. Outright alien intercourse, how has he put in the comic now? Dies Irae is a classical music piece, and a Latin poem, and an anime, and a song. Okay, cool. Explains why I heard it had to be one of those places. Something, one or the two sides eventually predominate over the other, and when looking for a mate, they'll be basically trying to fill the void. Yeah. Hello, Diantre has smiley face. I'm new. Can you start all the way from part 1? No, sorry. We're not actually reading the comic, just so you know, we are talking about it post me reading it on the channel. But the actual series of me reading it is here. You can check it out, just for clarity's sake, in case you don't know. Still can't pronounce Kismesis dude this easily. I hope I'm saying it right, I'm not sure. Never-ending story, yeah, sorry, not journey. Saw someone interpret Lord English as a parody of traditional big bads being impossibly powerful and behind everything, but largely absent from the story itself. The sad part is that it's possible, but if it is that, just being a parody of something is not an excuse for being a little unsatisfying in the story that it is in itself, Maybe as a comparison, a good parody of something is like a movie like Megamind, right? It's like a parody of superheroes, and yet it does so much with the superhero stuff that it has in itself. And I feel like, if Lord English really is supposed to be just a parody of a big bad that is not present in the story itself, there could be more done there, especially because of the various little meta threads inside of the comic itself, which, by the way, we'll talk about it more a little later maybe, but whenever I was starting to read the comic, I definitely expected it to have way more meta elements than it ended up having, or ones that maybe resembled Undertale way more, in the sense that they were integrated into the story way more than just like a nod and a wink to the player, Not to the player, to the reader. Because that kind of thing just not being in the comic just for the sake of, hey, it's a parody, if it is a parody, it doesn't sit right with me. Just plainly, I like the idea that Alternian society was being puppeted by Doc Scratch, who is the puppet of Lord English and an actual puppet. I mean, yeah, that's, like there are the themes are there, it's just, is the text there? I'm not sure. Anyway, eggy looking thing. Still think this is cool. And Gamzert. God, the fact that this is Gamzert as like, okay, still, how the hell did Gamzert go anywhere, considering that he went into the black hole, but also he is here in Universe C future version on a ruined Earth? How that happened, I don't know. Whatever. Man. But like besides that, here I definitely think that it would have been good and it would have been cool to switch POV to Gamzee in this situation, or as he was living life trying to raise up the cherubs through time travel. It's been so long since we've had a proper POV that actually, you know, introduced us to something new. Like, for instance, with Carapations back in whatever the act, like 3 or 4. Whenever we'd switch to a new Carapation, we would get some foreshadowing to, like, stuff that we would later learn about the Incipisphere itself, for instance, right? And it wasn't just for the people that were pushing the story most, it was also to expand the universe in a way that, you know, you get to know about things that are important, but like before the players actually get to those parts. I thought that was really cool, and I feel like that could have been done here with Gamzee, where we kind of get again like get a long overdue insight into his brain hole, into his think pan, while also getting to see this play out, you know? I just feel like that would have been cool, and this was like a perfect opportunity for that. I will always preach that, even though that's like a complete fan concept. I still think that it would be cool. Blah. Anyway, Interfission. These two not being able to speak is still so, like... This I will insult and hate, and yeah. Even if this is cute. The fact that they just can't speak, they're not allowed to. It's... I will not forgive. I will not forgive. Anyway, Interfission. The fact that Bladder doesn't have a cool troll name for it, though. Best elevator stack segment? Honestly, yeah. I love just him standing there. And then the little cut-ins to these two instruments, like this one at the end specifically. Just doesn't do anything, and then only at the end. It's funny. As Solux descends. Solux now! Big Homestuck. Every time somebody says dog scratch... Yeah! My names get highlighted and it gives me a scare Lamau. Oh, that's funny. Mina having to go to the bathroom kind of implies that ghosts still have to eat and drink, so what if they don't? That's the thing about that, because we do get I think John questioning that, and it's like, don't question it. I think I don't remember now exactly. Okay, end of Interfission. Hello, Kanaya. Whoa, real Kanaya in chat. That's crazy. I want to learn how to play this song so bad, but it requires so many instruments and different parts. I mean, some different people have like reduced songs to like just one instrument. I feel like that could be done for Elevator Stack. It's not necessarily like a complex song, at least seemingly. Maybe I'm wrong. Has he doing everything in his power to not make her in the peta speak another word? Gosh. Hello, the Blue Melon. Hi, you know nothing about Homestuck. Okay, quick pitch. Comic from 2009 that ended into 2016. It is about 4 kids that are total shut-ins, stuck with each other through the internet, and one day play a game that ends the world but also saves them from the end of the world. There is time travel, aliens, multiple universes involved. It has a convoluted plot, but most of it is actually fed to you in a fairly, like, understandable manner and an understandable pace, despite what others may say. Its best part is honestly the characters and the character interactions within it, aside from just the bonkers plot. And I think it's really something that everybody should at least give a try. So you go and do that. Honestly, you should go do that before seeing something like this, because we're just talking full spoilers here. So yeah, I'm sold. Okay, good. It's really, really interesting, honestly. Like, despite all of the memes, despite what fans, including me, may have to say negative about it, it's like, okay, it's a long-running thing made by one person. Obviously, it would lose focus sometimes. Obviously, it would not do everything that you would expect, you know, another maybe planned out story to do. But it is a really interesting piece of media on its own, and it's certainly very, very worth it to check out.
I just realized I was muted. I was
even in
talking and
even in
I
this day
was
and age.
wondering why you were talking about me and not stopping.
Well, you were muted.
Yeah, I was muted and I didn't realize.
Okay, well that's my elevator pitch for Homestuck, the Blue Melon. We are now resuming with spoilers. Tread carefully.
Mm-hmm.
This is truly a webbed comic of all time. Too easy. Anyway. Worm! I think this is cool. The whole thing of starting first as like a combined personality and then like the two of them developing, I think that's really cool. Okay, I haven't seen all of Homestuck Alternate Universe. Actually, I've only seen like the prologue, the first part, and then I skipped to the part with Wayward Vagabond. But the prologue, the like episode 0 of Homestuck Alternate Universe, involved their interpretation of what it was for Gamzee to raise the cherubs. And what they did there was honestly so interesting. I would absolutely recommend you to just check that out on its own, because it's like such an interesting characterization for like a version of the character. Because it's not this Gamzee, it's their version of Gamzee, but it's so interesting. I would like just go listen to that on its own, not even planning to listen to the rest of it. If you like it, you can listen to the rest, but just that prologue with Gamzee and the cherubs is so cool. Honestly, I just got reminded of that looking at this. I think it was really nice. Also, this is cute, and the fact that Gamzee is smiling here is also giving me like, oh god, is there something within him that he's like, I don't know.
Can we fix him?
Like, I don't know. Like, I don't know about this Caliborn guy, despite him, my entire religion, like, being around him, and this being basically my dream of contributing to his existence. Like, I wonder if there is anything there in him that like that, you know? And we'll never know, probably. Don't mention that, Doc. You should not mention that. You should just like shut up forever. I do wonder where he got all of this from. And in general, this some of this stuff just being in general like cherub themed, right? Where did Gamzee get this kind of stuff from? If like, I mean, in general, we could also ask this about, like, how the hell does even cherubim folklore exist in general, if cherubs, like, just kind of live far away from each other, unless it's sort of a sort of thing of, like, cherubs, like, also being artists and leaving these, like, this art behind them for other cherubs to see, like, in a billion years or something. Maybe it's something like that. But yeah, this whole thing. God, I love Caliborn Enter. What's called that dead session? Blotted with a dark layer of clouds. Land of End. Yeah. It's the fact that this is Earth too. And these are like all of his stacks of monitors. Where did he get those? I don't know. Dead session. Okay, dead session time. Oh, are you gonna yap about that? That's awesome. Caliborn biting off his leg has to be one of the most gruesome things in Homestuck. I guess, yeah. Oh my gosh! Okay. You know what? I kind of don't want to get into the discussion of which Yalda Baoth is this. I don't want to do that again. Because I just get confused every time and I don't know. Also, this is funny because this is interesting because this is that one freaking picture of Echidna. I won't find it in the thing, in the comic itself, probably. It would take too long, but Gaia Queen, there we go. Okay, it's not the exact one. I think there is a different statue of Echidna that we see in the background somewhere that's like, that this is like a reference to, this depiction of Yaldabaoth. I have a question. Skya eventually explodes into a black hole, destroying Prospect in the process. So how is Prospect Dreamer supposed to reach God tier? The sacrificial slab is gone, and the quest bed. Honestly, if a Prospect Dreamer starts a dead session, they might just be fricked, right? Like the stuff with the different planets rocketing off from Skya before some of them being like consumed back by the black hole. That's tough. Honestly, it does feel like it could be just like, oh, if you're a Prospect Dreamer, you're absolutely fricked. I don't know. Feels possible, honestly. The scale is definitely different than what we see in Collide, but this is still so cool. And then the fact that later this is reused for Typheus finally, gosh. Another thing that came with Azur sharing some of the author commentary that he's been reading with me in DMs. Another thing that came with that is Hassi's notes actually mentioning denizens and like them planning for them to like be this and that eventually. And the fact that those notes were actually written while he was still in the process of doing early Act 6, that just kind of makes me sad, man. Like, was it in the stars at some point where we meant to see more of like the actual quests at some point before the most final battle? The fact that we just, that's just, it would be so cool. It would have been so cool. It would have been cool. Blah. Me when I groan, and me when I complain, and me when I complain about the comic that I love. God of all monsters, Yaldabaoth's so cool. Scale in this comic is all over the place. I mean, yeah, that goes without saying. I think it's really funny how you can play Spurb, the game that is inherently supposed to be played with at least 2 players alone, and it becomes infinitely harder in unique ways too. Yeah. Hello, Ice! Let me put once again on the table DDOTA. Hi everyone, by the way, just joining for a moment before lunch. Well, lunch. I do know that Act 8 is an MSPFA that kind of explores what I'm talking about here. And the reason I know that is because Azur has read it and they recommended it to me. I still kind of felt like I feel like I'm going to read these MSPFAs after I'm done with this series, which we will soon. Okay, yeah, let's go through this. These 3... So we do know that the like leprechauns that the Celeborn gets from that would have gotten from these planets are just kind of added to the tally of the ones that do exist, where for some of them he just gets 2. Which it's funny how they just kind of bother to even do this thing of some of these rocketing into the black hole anyway. Like, why? But okay. Really cool. Really cool. I do like this, because this is okay. See, this again makes me imagine. Okay, but like, what if Callie? But what if Callie had leprechauns? Would they be female? Would they be like something? Do they even have like genders in general, or was that just like thrust upon them by Celeborn because he is such a manly man and he wants all of his people to be manly men also? Like, is that a thing? I have to wonder about the possibilities. Yeah, the bomb going off. I don't think we have to necessarily go through all of this again. But yeah, this is the Land of Colors and Mayhem, which is still cool that that's the name of it. Upon destroying the 8th planet, his true land will reveal itself. The dead planet will come to life, and there must prepare for battle with his denizen. Yeah, so it is the exact same as Earth. Earth essentially turns into this mess. Which, the fact that Celeborn just doesn't get a seizure is crazy. Yay! Love these guys. Still, absolute crime that the universe did not allow for a continuation of the inaugural death of Mr. Seven. Absolute crime, absolute travesty. Wait, leprechauns? This is such a funny side note, because this is like, this sort of comes back as just like a background gag, but we don't even know the ramifications of the different parts here. I want to imagine that the heart here is basically just matespertship, and all of this stuff is flavors of trickery, which we are not familiar with, considering that it's not exactly explained very clearly to us. But it's still funny that this was bothered to like be put as part of the comic anyway. I remember being a little mad that these weren't explained to us at some point, but now I'm just like, okay, fine, whatever, man. I've been thinking a lot more in how I'd fix a chest lately, not gonna lie, involving how to solve the massive retcon plot holes and how to redeem Gamzee even, so don't worry about complaining about the comic. Nah, it's fine. I don't feel too bad about it. I just feel like I have to remind myself that I do like it, which I do, which I truly, really do. Every day that passes, I become more and more aware of how flawed this comic is. Still love it though, yeah. That's where the Colors and Mayhem album name came from. The album came first. The album came like way first. Way earlier than the first mention of the Land of Colors and Mayhem, which is actually in the next act. Not here. Raverf. Yeah, Raverf. Hate Vriska so much for interrupting Aaaaand at the end here. Bugflower, we haven't mentioned. Okay, won't read that because that's a little bit more personal, so I won't read that out loud. Fun fact, by the way, if it hasn't been mentioned before, but this intermission is when Aaaaand's quirk shifted to the rest of the comic, by the way. I never even realized that it shifted. What's the difference? What? I need to know of their different replicants depending on your aspect. Okay. You know, I will talk about this another day because I can't go on a tirade about this right now, but I had a set of 4 original leprechauns based on not the time aspect but the heart aspect, and instead of being themed around billiard balls and numbers, they were themed around the four elements. I thought that they were super cool. Their names were, hold on, let me remember. Their names were Warmius, Tongue. Warmius is the earth one, Tongue is the fire one, Sinker is the water one, and Draft is the air one. I'll show you guys the drawing of them at some point. I still like them a lot. I remember drawing them in class at one point, and I really like them still. My little leprechaun blorbos. Have you ever seen them, Luna? I feel like I've shown them to you, but I don't know if you'd remember.
Shown me what? Your leprechauns?
Yes.
I feel like you have, but I don't remember them really. Sorry.
Okay. Kudos on Homestuck for having leprechauns and not making a pot of gold joke until like 6,000 pages in. She is starting to do the phonetic 8. Oh, before this intermission, Arana only used 8s to replace B. And if she was exasperated, but since this point onwards, she started using the phonetic 8 like Vriska. Oh, that's crazy. I didn't know that. Huh. Like Vriska and Mindfang. Which is actually funny to think about, because Mindfang's journal probably very much influenced how Vriska speaks, how Vriska types. Fun leprechauns is my biggest challenge. I've been trying to make light-based ones for a while with very limited success. I think what you should do is not limit yourself to specifically having there be a set amount of them, you know? Like, oh, oops. Like there specifically being 15 of them with 1 missing, I guess. I feel like you should have a little more wiggle room. Like try doing them with like a different amount, with like a smaller amount. See if you have more success there. Like again, my set is literally just 4, and I love them so much. Okay, let's continue here. You like that? You like that much, Vriska? Hell yeah! Oh my god, that leprechaun stuff, so good. Uh-huh. Sure. Sure. Hi, John. I don't know what to say here. Oh, right, this. Intervention. Okay, I forgot about this. Okay, we'll come back to this. God, we had so... I'm sorry for taking so long. We'll speed this up now, probably, because I've already said what I wanted to say about the intervention, and after this we'll just be, you know, switching back to Caliborn occasionally, and just in general looking at random interactions before they get the juju. So hopefully we'll get to go a little faster, but yeah, I did want to talk a lot about those topics specifically there, what we got into with the cherubs and leprechauns, I guess, at the end there. I'm unable to go full length because of character limit, but I'm sure that Doc already mentioned it either. But I love how the quirk, cosplay, and everything here shows Arana kinda losing herself too much into this mindfang persona. Yes, absolutely, I definitely do see that. Okay, let me go get some water first.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's true, Doc. It probably didn't feel very well for her. Why didn't Teresa just stare at the sun if she hated not being blind? Well, it honestly just feels to me like she lost a lot of herself, you know, during this whole timeline, and she might not have had the guts to do it herself. Well, she easily would have if she, um, if all of the things that happened here didn't happen. That's what I think. Hey, Rox. Feeling better from what?
Hi.
Hello.
Hello, YouTube user Baby Vriska McDonald's. Hello. Welcome to the chat. Look at Ice's message in chat, Luna.
I know. I was talking while you were away.
This scene does retroactively give more weight to the Karkat Terezi Bit and Orb open bound. No, absolutely. I do think that's something that it does well. I do think that in general the intervention scene is pretty good.
So you're called Baby Vriska McDonald's, but your PFP is Nepeta. Does that mean that Nepeta to you is Baby Vriska McDonald's?
I didn't notice, but we haven't talked in a full year, OMG. Wait, what? No. Okay, no. Ice.
Yeah.
Okay,
me and Rox. Don't expose me like that, Rox. Don't expose my inability to keep up with relationships.
Relationships, wow. Vriska's ancestor, yeah, talking about the sight thing. I do think it's a little weird how she just kind of stands out, but it is very clear that like afterwards when we see those scenes with game like before game over, that she was masking it a little and she has a lot of anger in her still, you know, what with her determination considering clown hunting, which is, you know, justifiable. Speaker crap. God, this is such a legendary image. Even if even if the art style isn't like on par with some of other stuff in the comic, that just this has just so much energy. something I'm
Why
lucky.
he's so torso? Why he's so upper body?
Oh yeah, I just realized that. Why is his like why is his zodiac like up here, not like what?
No, his torso is abnormally long here.
Okay. something I'm low-key upset still at how the Karkat-Terezi friendship was kind of a really important thing since Act 5, Act 1, and should have had more weight in the end, but didn't. Yes, that's exactly what I'm talking about, because we certainly get bits of it here, and we certainly get bits of it in Openbound 2, right, at the very end of Openbound 2. We get that, and we get hints of it, and they are really, really tasty, and they're really, really good. But then it just sort of also doesn't have much payoff, because Karkat and Terezi in the end before the final battle don't really interact much, which again I feel like if they had more, in general, more time to mess around with their planets, really complete things that they have in mind, if they had like some time for that, I feel like those kinds of things could have been really like pretty easily ironed out, but there was way too much of a rush to get to the end of the comic, which, again, very, very much a shame. But yeah, I do feel like that the Karkat and Terezi friendship thing could have also been ironed out in that scene, also specifically because it would have been post-retcon. So yeah, that's my thinking too. But I do like that we see his genuine concern here, not really being angry, not really, you know, having weird remarks. It's just Dave in general, also like him saying before, like what he said before with the you can't help somebody that doesn't want to get helped, which Karkat pushes like a little more, and he does get Terezi back on her feet, which, you know, is good. I don't know, I just like that this happens, you know? Even if it gets erased in the end. I just like that this happens. Yeah, see? Like, genuinely, this is just what a friend would say, not somebody that's like chasing love. I just like that. I just like that about this. Okay. Let's switch the music. Let's do frickin' Red Sucker. Oh gosh, so many messages in chat. Same with the Karkat Aaaaand even. Oh yeah, I don't really usually think about it, considering that it kind of culminates in Karkat being extremely mad, considering what he saw, and then not really wanting to talk with past Aaaaand a lot, just because it concludes in that, which is also a justifiable reaction. I kind of forget about that, but the fact that you know, previously to that, Karkat does want to genuinely help too, it's just really nice. Like when he is. When he has the space and time to breathe, and when he isn't like doesn't have the pressure of having like a whole group around him to like with all of their eyes on him and what he's saying, he has the ability to just have all of these super genuine conversations, and it's super nice to see. But man, the fact that we don't really get to that payoff, the payoff of that existing with him or with anybody towards the end of the comic is a little sad. Especially that, you know, again, I like Dave Cat, but the fact that that Karkat just sort of gets devoted to like most of his interactions being just with Dave, like implied just with Dave on the Meteor and nobody else. That is a bit sad, you know, I think. Because there is so much more there, there's so much more chemistry there with Kanaya and Karkat and stuff, and also obviously we get some of that, but it's not like the comic specifically shows us, hey, they've also talked a lot on the Meteor. It was more so that there were those two duos, actually three duos, right? Vriska, Terezi, Rose and Kanaya, and Karkat and Dave post retcon, and they just kind of stuck around in those duos. The fact that we didn't get the vibe, the feel that there was more than that is a little bit sad, but maybe that's just me also assuming too much. I don't know. Even Feferi kinda teased Erden with Karkat at some point, and Karkat was way more on a bro kinda basis with him. It was planned and discarded so clearly it hurts. Blah. Also, I didn't say hi to you, Rhombus Real. Hello, Rhombus Real. I love it when characters have a different design in the past. Well, technically the past, it's the past for the leprechauns, and it looks wrong because they clearly weren't made with set design in mind. Yeah, with the pointy hats. I think it's funny. Those like that, or the entire situation with Feferi that actually kind of upsets me about HS, because Hasi is great, but also did such a petty thing for such dumb reasons. Yeah, I don't have to discuss it again. We already all know. More Karkat and Kanayano moments. Post Act 5, underrated duo. 100% agree. 100% agree. Anyway, console talk with. Narrator man. How does this work, by the way? Little Seb having trickstery love here, trickstery romance. How does that work? Yeah, yeah. I don't know how to say do my Vriska voice anymore, honestly. But yeah, this. So this is certainly something. If everything is pulled from Caliborn's brain, right? If like all of this stuff that we don't recognize, because obviously there are so many different items in Openbound that only make sense as Lord English's memories. This must have been also somewhere, right? So did this as a cave like spawn in once Earth like transformed into the land of color and mischief, color and mayhem? You know, at that point, so that there is like a clear elevator to the lair of Galdabaoth, because that's basically what we get, right? They enter here, there is a big elevator down, and then they find the Juju there in a hole that in you know that in a hole themed around the Galdabaoth. So. Is that just on his planet, or is this just like a random manifestation? I guess that doesn't matter, but I do think that is a little interesting. Excuse me, some of us have special needs. Don't disrespect him like that. Oh, thank you for the sub, that one person that never sleeps. Hello. Thank you for subbing. Oh, hi Betty, didn't see you before, I think. And bye Fullbound. Talking about music, yeah, okay. Okay. Peak panel incoming, yeah. Alright, yeah, was it? Yes. Can I ask you something? Okay. You seem reasonable and pretty nice. Smile.
Does he know?
Does he know? That's a pretty good question. I think I mostly want to see what happens when this whole place breaks apart. Beautiful. Take a screenshot, guys. Lovely. Oh my god, you're all so insane!
Yeah, slide
Are
towards
we
the
coming
end.
on or what? Yes, please. Oh, actually, this is Aaaaand, not okay. I forget what my voice for Aaaaand actually was. She's so reasonable. Considering everybody else, Aradia is pretty reasonable. The fact that Aradia's final lines of dialogue are closer to her introduction than the end of the comic, if I recall correctly. Didn't even think about the fact that this is some of her last dialogue, if not the last dialogue. I never even thought about that. That's correct. Kind of wild. What? Chat, is this girl for real? But yeah, I guess you are kind of correct how it's a very similar thing to what Ghost Aradia would say, except this is in a way more like positive light, I guess. 2 legendary rings. Okay, hold on, because like... Oh god, yeah. Not those rings. Different rings. Still. Okay, won't catch up on this, because I don't want to read everything again, right? But I... But I don't remember where they exactly were meant to come from. Were they also meant to be like jujus or something? I don't remember. By the way, there are ghost Aradias in the bubbles. I like to believe they're not like Hypent Aradia, but she was like only like that because she was a ghost in the waking world. No, yeah, obviously that is different than ghost out here in the dream bubbles. Because they are basically just like a hologram of what was once the living person that is still allowed to acquire new memories out here in the dream bubbles. That's basically what it is, right? Ghost in the waking world is clearly different. Garana's wrongs are wrong even though she's not flip. Okay. Listen, it's fine, it's fine. That freaking guy. Okay. Sure. What did you do with that ring? Okay, now we're gonna get we do get that a little bit of that because there doesn't John talk about okay. Tavros freaks off because he doesn't want to get disrespected anymore, which good for him. This is nice. This is nice. So clever. He is very clever.
Yeah.
Hey Tavros, wait up! I think I'm going with you. Abandoning Aradia like that? You can't do that. I understand, Solux. Still like weird, cause like, isn't there like an infinite amount of risk that they just might not ever meet up again if they do that? Isn't that how dream bubbles go? Just still feels very weird to me. Still so confused about what trolls can be mind controlled by Vriska, which can't. And then I thought she couldn't go above Olive somehow, then the goddamn Slampora happens, yeah. I guess they are stupid enough for it, okay? I guess that's just it. You go my Tav, bro? Yeah. This stuff's super interesting. JKK, you losers. Anyway, we're out. Ladies. Wow. Bye. Oh, okay. I didn't... There's a funny story regarding this panel. I didn't say this whenever I got to it, but I remember being spoiled by seeing this panel specifically. I don't remember where, I don't remember why, but I remember seeing this panel.
How do you see this panel?
I don't know. Somehow I did. And I remember somehow also thinking that this was... Wait, do Vriska and John get like trapped in Lord English's brain at some point? I think that's really funny, but I didn't say it at the time. But I was thinking about it. Anyway, continuing here. Right, years ago when we first talked, it was a lot of fun to get you know you, and yeah, he talks about the whole thing of like her seeming, you know, you don't seem also such a morally good character. I realize it's just I'm sorry, and then again, this is actually an interesting scene because I kind of wanted to gloss over it, but and we probably will. But one thing I want to mention again, an interesting underlining of the whole fact that out of everybody that Vriska interacts with, it's so interesting that John is one of the people that she actually like has like she listens to, you know, in any way, and she listens to his input. She actually respects him in any way, despite in theory being similar to like Tavros in the way that he might be perceived as a weird loser man, you know, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
It's just interesting that this is the result. This is we also get this scene as a result of that, you know, and John, I guess, wisening up a little by actually being able to talk to her more. Has that main character charm? Maybe. Best ending. John and Vriska defeat LE by shrinking and going in his brain. Technically possible considering the technology that was put in Liv Tyler. Okay? Technically possible. Disrobe. Yeah. Is that the frickin' Sora Smash reveal trailer? Looking over this monologue for a second, hold on. Because here she's talking about all of that Destiny stuff and how she wants to be important. I don't remember exactly how this was, and again, I'm not gonna read all of it again, but I remember really liking it. I remember, strangely enough, Azur also later in DMs praising this whole monologue, despite him very much being on the Vriska hate train, which is understandable. Okay, here it comes. You don't have to be a good person to be a hero. That too. Yeah. See, now you reminded me of that by being me. Yeah. You know what? Considering what I know about Homestuck Beyond Canon and, you know, the current run and stuff, because obviously kind of impossible to avoid spoilers for that if you're just on Homestuck Twitter. I wonder if that's sort of part of the narrative there of, you know, the part with Vriska, if you know what I'm talking about. I wonder. If I were to fix HS, I would make a certain Megiddo get a hold of the Ring of Life, not even for any plot-related reasons, just because, yeah, why not? Yeah, sure. I mean, you know, that's not even like, nobody doubted that, right? Nobody doubted it. Ah! Let's get, like... Yeah, sure, Dave's Sprite theme. So this is interesting also, okay. Because this is Drunk Rose. Yeah. This is Drunk Rose, and this is Kanaya trying to reason with her. And so Wasted rolls eyes. I like this redraw. Because this was John originally, I'm pretty sure. To keep it, yeah. Kanaya's getting annoyed with her, not being able to treat anything seriously, definitely. This is, okay, nice to see her happy, but considering the context, I don't know, man, I don't know. Why is her head in semi-sprite mode and her body on hero mode? I'm so annoyed right now. Okay, hold on a second. Here, this... I don't know, this doesn't seem too weird to me. Oh, this you mean? No, yeah, because this is I mean, all of this is semi-sprite mode, except for some reason the bottom doesn't have any outlines. It's weird. There have been weirder things, because stylistically, this freaking face. I don't... The bubbles for Salamancer Memorial Library. My library. Oh, that's sad. Though, again, okay. Talking about this. Yeah, I wanted to get to this dialogue specifically. That's why I've been skipping everything. It's such a shame that... Obviously, I know that what they were doing with the retcon. But the fact that we get to this, and then Kanaya's response being this. Obviously, Kanaya wants to make right here. Kanaya wants all of this to work out, and we also see Rose obviously make steps towards that. All of in like before game over, in those scenes before game over. The fact that those developments just also kind of go nowhere is a little sad. Because this was at least an interesting part, right? Like this was an interesting thing. I do think out of all of the things that Vriska changed by being there, I think Rose's alcoholism was, while I do think not as unrealistic as some people think, I do think that it at least should have stayed because it would have been an interesting thing, you know, in general to like tackle still, even post retcon. And talking about that, you know, whenever you're thinking about the post retcon changes and stuff, again. Probably, well, this is just like my theory, but maybe that was changed in that way because Hasi knew that they wouldn't have time for that if they were to rush towards the end like they did. Like maybe if they did, they wouldn't. The alcoholism would have stayed. I don't know, just a theory, a game theory. Yeah, I'd be angry too if I was a lesbian vampire. True. And also, hello, TT. Cool PFP. So tempted to once more mention something that I won't be because I'd spoil you something, but if you decide to read something craft, but yeah, I hate retcon messing up so much of Rose's arc. I don't think it necessarily messed up, it's just that, again, yeah, it just straight up doesn't exist. Because I did it, the reason why I wouldn't say that messed up, because messing up implies that it's still there. It just kind of removed that part of it all. Which again, sad. Also, hello Popular Dollars. Hey YouTube, randomly recommended this stream to me, so I thought I might drop in to say I've been reading Homestuck for my first time for the past 7 years. I still haven't finished it. Oh, for the past 7 years you've been reading it? Just on and off? I guess that makes sense. Honestly, that the way I read it probably would have also been that way if I didn't have anybody to talk to about it. So that's understandable. Hopefully you're not gonna get any spoilers here. From this scene specifically, but just know this is a post-reading stream. I've already read all of Homestuck, so while we are like going through scene to scene, just talking about random stuff, we will also be talking full spoilers to like finale stuff too. So just keep that in mind, you know, just because it would suck if you were to be spoiled. Just saying. I'm very slow either, and I have to go on and off. Yeah, that makes sense. So just, you know, that warning. Yes, I'm at page 5000 something, don't worry, and this is page 664. So again, just if I were to give you the advice, please, you know, maybe leave this for later. Or, like, watch somebody else's read-through to go faster or something. I don't know. Maybe mine. I don't know. I'm bad at advertising myself, but you know what I mean. It would just be better for you to not get spoiled, probably. I'm on Act 6. I haven't read since November. Oh god. Act 6 is half of the comic. How can I... See, now I'm worried that I'm gonna be spoiling people in chat. Guys, we are talking full spoilers of the comic. Come on now. I don't want to like break anybody's wings here, but yeah. Just be cautious, please, and keep in mind again, talking full spoilers. And thank you for subscribing. I saw the notification. Yeah, we're continuing anyway. I don't think I have anything more to say about this scene. And neither this, really. But it is cool to see the rest of his quest, still. Like, okay, again, I love the leprechauns, I love that we get to see actually some of them here, properly. So, at least the fact that we get this briefing of his journey is nice. this star moon thing between crowbar and matchsticks. I remember at one point theorizing or having like a headcanon that crowbar only goes for hearts just because of the whole interaction with Snowman and the inaugural death of Mr. Seven, but then somebody reminded me of this. Which is also really funny considering that these two are only engaging in troll stuff, because this is heart and diamond, so... I see, Ice. I mean, that's solid. That's solid, I say. Ah! This whole thing. I like the implication of this. I like the implication of this, you know, of the coat becoming the Kyra overcoat later. Obviously, I really like it, because it's just funny. And definitely reminds me of the... of the early comics freaking time loops, but it is a little sad that we don't get a proper explanation, just the same way as we don't get some like actual proper explanations for some of the other time loops that just sort of go unexplored, like a lot of the weapons that go into Liv Tyler's arsenal. We just don't know. It's a little sad, eh?
Beep.
Especially yes, Beep. Especially since that kind of, you know, thank you. No, yeah, now I got the notification. Especially since that kind of mechanical tightness was one of the things that really drew me into Homestuck at the beginning. You know?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay, thank you, Bromeo. Thank you, TT. When I began reading, I was a sophomore in high school, and now now COVID has happened. I'm 22. I don't live with my parents anymore, and I still haven't finished Homestuck. LOL. Honestly, probably would be better if you just started from the beginning. At least I would do it if I were in your position, because I started reading Homestuck before I actually started the YouTube series that I have on my channel. Because I did read from the beginning, kind of blind, and I have all of that streamed here. But I did start reading some of it back like 1 or 2 years before we that start, and I did start back from the beginning, and I do think that gave me a little like that little bit more motivation. Maybe what you need is like, I don't know, to actually, you know, I don't know, somebody to discuss it with maybe, or somebody to read it with. I know that, for instance, my friend Azur that has experienced this comic with me, he has said before that while he's been reading like extra material on his own, the comic proper, he probably wouldn't have gotten into it initially as much if he didn't have me to talk with about it. So maybe consider finding somebody like that. I don't know, just a thought. Again, not a requirement or anything, just saying. You know, I'm only saying it because we're talking spoilers here, and I'd rather not have you guys be spoiled. You too.
It's good to find at least someone to dump things into.
Yeah, to dump HS crap in their DMs.
Yeah.
Or maybe even publicly. Such a cool set piece. Psst, blue guy. Yeah, the life ring, swindle you out of their life ring. I remember. Okay. Why is she looking like that? Yeah. Okay, I don't have much to say about this scene. Let's just go for. Okay, never mind. I have to freaking mute myself now.
Well, it's muting time. But come on, I wanted to go make tea. Now I'm stuck being the one talking. Why'd you do this to me? Okay, this is the part people point at as proof that Mina did care about Aranya. Even though here she still makes fun of her stories and says that Vriska is cooler. Mm, I mean, that could be just being friendly, mean. I don't remember exactly how the dialogue goes in here. Depends on on how she words it, really. Also, why is Aurelia happy again here? Wasn't she sad?
Why? Sad by what?
She was sad the last time Solog told her she weirded out John.
What?
She frowned. She did the little frown. You know?
I don't remember now. Oh my god, I have terrible memory apparently.
In text. It was all in text form.
As people point to us for proof that Mina did care about Arana, even though she still makes fun of her stories and says that Vriska is cooler. My god. I won't. Okay, this is okay. I'll let this play.
Okay, now I'm gonna go make tea for a few minutes.
I'll let this play.
I forgot about the John thing.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
Okay. Here is the Juju and this.
Yeah. Good.
Okay, gonna play Ocean Stars Falling now at the BG. Okay. I have so much to say about this scene. First of all, I think the fact that this is used as just a gag of hey reader, you thought you were gonna get to the cool part, and I'm also trolling Vriska, the character in my comic right now, with this. That on its own is funny. The fact that this is the only time that the Casey Viceroy becomes relevant or like has a scene to her or like to her own is sad to me. The fact that in Act 6 this is the only scene that she gets to her own. That part is sad to me, and the fact that that's what this is devoted to. Like the whole part of like promising to later again, this is still funny, but the fact that the whole part of promising to bring this back later, this army will be super important, the fact that that's framed as a joke clearly still, I realize that that's not too big of a deal for most people, but as somebody that loves the concerts and loves what little there was set up for, the salamanders on both of the planets that we know we had salamanders on, just loving those stories, the fact that they are used as just like this throwaway material basically for a joke, that part upsets me a little, but that's just my personal feelings. I know that doesn't reflect most readers, but yeah. And also, but okay, besides that context, the fact that here Casey has proper necromantic abilities is actually kind of interesting considering everything else we know about magic in the comic, because magic isn't necessarily in Homestuck what we would first think as magic, right? Like, just because, for instance, I don't know, all of the heavenly machina seem like magic, isn't necessarily defined as magic just because it's like, oh, it's like regular thing in the universe, it just works like this. In multiple universes, it's always worked like this. You have to just accept that. So that isn't considered magic, for instance, right? But what Rose does, what Aaaaand does, well, Aaaaand calls his stuff science, but let's be real, it's magic. The stuff that those two do is magic, I guess, just because it has the aesthetic of magic, even though it's not necessarily the mechanics of that aren't necessarily explained to us. It's just that, oh, Rose has prototyped these needles to be wands, right? And Rose has given Aaaaand through Captchalog stuff this wand. It also does magic-y stuff, science-y stuff, right? And I guess those are defined as magic just because of that. So, like, what exactly is Casey doing here? is somehow this stuff like also a result of you know, alchemy? Or is this some kind of other thing that she's tapping into here? Some kind of other thing that's maybe related to the horror terrors? Is that something that's happening here? Like, so many questions I have about this, and obviously I won't get them because this is just something very, very throwaway, which again infuriates me specifically. Thank you for coming to my rant about skeletons. Anyway, I love them all. They are all beautiful. Mwah, 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 mwah. Bone, 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 bone! Shut up, Vriska. This is beautiful. I shed real tears. Shut up! Okay, I guess Casey time is over. I'm sorry, Casey. Need to go on my way now? Okay, bye, guys. You shut up! This is better! Rev Scarecrow got so mad when he got to this part. I was happy! This should have lasted way longer than it did, okay? And this is an objective fact! I'm not even joking about that. Oh well. Hi, Vriska. Dump. There it freaking goes. Something that's still really interesting about this is literally blank. This is literally like transparent. Like if you drag this image, you can see that the little house changes color when I go between the border here. I just think that's really interesting. I would love to get a little more like mechanical exploration of how this relates to Void also, considering that whenever John does all of the biggest windy thing, you know, when John does the windiest thing, and his planet is, you know, in the void as they call it, the background is also this background color, right? And it's also very like transparent. Like there is nothing out there, not even space. That's something that Roxy literally comments on, I'm pretty sure. So I would love to know, like to have like some kind of more of mechanical exploration of like how this exactly, like this transparency relates to Void and maybe the Void aspect too, but blah. Already be like smile. Anyway. Okay. Okay, so John just kind of does this, right? This is him quite literally reaching out of the panel and into the, you know, the format of the comic. Which, despite everything that, you know, I would change about the retcon if I could, right? If it would be possible to just make the retcon a little different, I still like the mechanic of this, the setup of this, right? How this is like this super endgame magical artifact that contains these different versions of the four main characters of the comic itself, and therefore when he reaches into it, he can interact with like the storyline of the comic itself, not necessarily the timeline as it is set up, you know, in universe, but more so, you know, how the story, you know, the order of things, how the story was told in the comic, just specifically panels that we've already seen. I just, like, we as readers have seen. I just think that is interesting. And I like the idea. I like the idea a lot. And the whole thing of, like, changing past panels, I think that's also really cool. Ah, look at this too. It's all transparent. Super cool, I think. Yeah. 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 Ah! This is already changed. The first time we saw this panel, this wasn't changed yet. That's funny. Have you seen that Michael K. Bauman has released all of his Homestuck music on Spotify? He already did, I only saw that somebody said in chat that he was like working on doing so. That's crazy. Hold on a second. Let me see how long that is. Echo. Let me look. Remember when Hasi actually went back to the comic and that has added a hand in a few panels? That was crazy. Well, not more than a few. It's honestly quite a lot. I'm absolutely sure I was saying I have no opinions on Redcon. Can't wait to reach that part and to finally unload them. Oh my god, no. Baumanstuck album. Alright. How many tracks is this? 42! Absolutely insane. Oh, there are some names here that I don't recognize. Probably ones that I would have recognized if I was more familiar with Homestuck sound test. Oh, it premieres in 6 hours. That's crazy. Okay, that's really cool. Y'all should check it out. Hold on, I'm gonna. If y'all have Spotify, look at this. Go put this on for later. That's really cool. Okay, let's continue with this. Yeah. This is really cool. Man, tear rolls down my eye. This too, honestly, like all of this. Again, like having it being not too long ago when we were going through all of these panels for the like a second time again on these streams. This is like all of this is such a different vibe than what came after, and that's not even like necessarily a bad thing. It's just interesting. It's again a bit of a shame that that adventure was cut short by stuff in the narrative itself, which was fair. Just looking through. Again, still, this is my Limeblood agenda. This is what Limebloods do. Sorry for the crunchy noises. The joy of reading the comic on the website and thinking, hey, what the hell is that hand doing there? I do think that doing it like this with the retroactive like changes is better. John! Damn it. I forgot she did that. Well, he's ripped from this part of the comic now. Eh. Don't feel like going over this. It's just eggs and biscuit, okay? It's just eggs and biscuit. Okay. Okay, guys, lock in. Best part of the entire comic incoming here, okay? Lock in. Hold on. Looking for a song. Actually, okay. There we go. 3 in the morning, RJ's I Can Barely Sleep in This Casino remix. Which, by the way, I've been meaning to listen to some of Robert J. Lake's more recent work, more recent music. Because he has like as little as like I think 3 months ago, or maybe even like more recently, had like made like a whole OST like a different to a game. And I really wanted to listen to it, and I still haven't gotten around to it. I think it's called... Actually, hold on, let me look. Okay, yeah, I have it on the side here. I Am Your Beast support group. I think that's the name of the game. That's the name of the game. And Robert J. Lake made a whole... the whole OST of it. I really want to listen to it at some point. I'm gonna get around to doing so. Anyway. Spadeslick! So I think, okay. Obviously, we have talked at length about how the actual Collide part does him absolutely 100% dirty. But it is kind of crazy how good this part of the comic is. Like, okay. We get proper proper back to like just actual Spadeslick shenanigans, unfortunately without his Midnight crew, but proper Spadeslick shenanigans. He meets like Miss Paint. Their interactions are so cool. He gets to lead the Felt, which is so like hype. And it's also like in these areas that we've seen before, and he like we see them like traversing them in a way that makes sense. Like we see them go through the panel that Hassie broke before into Damara's room. Like that stuff being relevant. I love that, dude. All of that is so cool, and the fact that he's just made into another villain at the end is just so sad. F in chat for Spadeslick. Anyway, let's go through this. Actually, chat first. He's back! My main man, hell yeah. I love that we in chat here love Spadeslick so much. I can imagine what people who read this at the time and went back through the comic and were taken aback by how panels had actually been retconned. Oh yeah. This is the song I chose for my alarm. It's very painful to waking up to this. I understand. But since this is not my alarm, this is a very pleasant song for me. Although personally the biggest surprise I had with this comic was hearing Sunslammer and realizing that it was used in some Undertale I use Megalo. It's Sudden Changes' Megalo, called Bullet Hell, and you should listen to the original, first of all, not like the remixes. Check out the actual original and read Sudden Changes, because it's a proper comic. It's a proper comic that's actually long, and it's pretty cool. I haven't seen all of it, but it is pretty cool, and I think you should look at it, because it has, believe it or not, it has more than just Sons with a Gun. Also, actually, I can show this. Hold on a second. Sound cloud. When I look at some, can I frickin' Smart C List 1? There we go. My lord. Okay. Where is my internet capture? Where is my... There we go, Firefox.
Okay, I'm back.
Hello. This is a friend of mine, and last year for Secret Santa event, they made this for me, which was supposed to be a Sunslammer remix, but just because, I mean, there is a Megalo based off of it, so I'm just gonna make it like a remix of that, except it has more, I'm gonna make a cover of that, except it has more parts that are, you know, relevant to, that are from the original song. And it slaps a lot.
Oh, we're talking about Ceres now.
Yeah, and I made this cover. It's really cool. I think you guys should go listen to it. It's very cool. I'm still really happy with this gift, because this one is super. Ah, my god, very loud. Yeah, I just wanted to show you guys that since Sunslammer came up. Sons with a Gun, yeah, that's like what most people know Sudden Changes for, which is a shame, because it's like a whole IU. It's not just Sans. They even started referencing more actually, hold on. Oh boy, Undertale fan music using Homestuck mentioned. Did you know that there is actually a cover over 100 songs that reference it by now, excluding Penumbra Phantasm remixes, obviously? Yeah, it's interesting, right? Because you have to imagine most of those people haven't actually read Homestuck, which isn't that bad of a thing, right? But it would be cool if they did. They even started referencing more obscure ones. The Blind Prophet Ballad of Jack Noir, not that obscure, but a emergency stopping only, apparently. I don't know what emergency stopping only is. Is that like a sound test song? Okay, going back to Space Tech. Again, this being physical is actually really cool, though. Again, not too important. It's just cool that it's there. Again, not gonna read everything because obviously we know this. We know this. I've already said why I love this part. And what little interaction we get between these two is just super cool too. You say he did. What? Why, Iora? There's some stuff that Azure would say. Why I aura with this Lord English guy. Again, the fact that he acknowledges it here, and literally in the scene right before Collide, he acknowledges the fact that Lord English is his nemesis, and then he just fights the kids anyway. That just pisses me off so much. Anyway, this is nice. I remember having like a whole exploding moment. Not when we were first reading this scene, but like a little after. Whenever I was a little like mad that, hey, shouldn't the Midnight Cruise pins be in here if they're also currently dead in this like iteration of everything? And also, this being outside of any universe, the fact like pulling a Snowman's pin shouldn't also actually do anything bad, but I guess he wasn't thinking about that. Or Cassie didn't want to deal with her being back. I don't know. But I do feel like in the context of, pulling the pin out here, outside of where like different timelines can even exist in a universe, it should be fine for this pin to be pulled, right? I'm pretty sure. Not the Midnight Crew itself, yeah, because the pins aren't here. Even though they clearly should be, because the Midnight Crew also have pins. Would Snowman being revived also revive the troll universe? I believe not. She was the heart of it, obviously, right? But they are in a frame of reference where the universe is just not anywhere around. It's not like there is a linear timeline in which, at one point it existed, then it didn't. It's only like that only is the case from its own perspective. It's only the case from the universe's itself perspective. From anything outside, like here, there would be no effect of Snowman coming back. At least that's what would only make sense with the mechanics we know. Anyway, BRB.
But again, well, now I'm drinking my tea, so. Yeah, BRB craft has been really prevalent in this stream. I think they're looking to be a bigger investor in the business. Mm, no, this is not the stream ending. This is not for the stream ending, but we'll probably have to end in less than an hour. Probably in half an hour, I would gauge. Ooh, spoilers for JoJo, JJ, or JG. I watched up to like halfway through part 4 of JoJo. I wanted to watch it, to keep watching it at some point, but it's so long. Says the Homestuck fan, who's read Homestuck like 4 times now. No, not really, Doc. We're going at snail's pace, more and more each stream. We've done less than 200 pages so far in these 2 hours. I think this might end up being a 13 or 14 parter series, which is fun. I bet Kraft will be mad at herself about it. The first what? What do you mean? Well, I already finished my tea. That's no fun. Yeah, we do appear to be kind of Homestuck in this. Man, we have surpassed 100 videos with this series, with this discussion series now. Ah, okay, yeah, I see, Doc. The Homestuck series keeps happening, and that's true. I do think there's a very real chance. Oh, that's also very cool, Doc. Speaking of 200, I do believe there's a very real chance we will get above 200 Homestuck streams at some point with everything we have to do.
I mean, maybe.
Hello.
Hi. Problem is, I think you know already.
Oh, then I was wrong. We don't have half an hour.
Unfortunately.
We have half a minute.
Right, that's the thing, right? Because, okay, so next stream is going to be Saturday. I can definitely fight for that to be way longer. Here's the thing. We didn't even go through one sub-act, which is a problem. Because I really thought that this would be the...
I didn't want to interrupt you or be rude, but yeah, the thing is,
you
did less than 200 pages.
I know.
You did less than 200 pages.
Yes, I know, because I was so passionate about so many topics that we got to today, you know?
But that don't work, my dude. Not if you want a 10-parter.
Yeah, that's a problem. Again, it will help that the next ones are next time around will be around for longer. We won't necessarily have a lot to appreciate here. These are way more general scenes, but here's the thing. Because this the three rows here don't necessarily reflect the actual length of the sub act. I'm pretty sure here in this instance, like
Not always, yeah.
this feels way like this Act 6 intermission 5 does definitely feel way longer than Act 6 intermission 1, but whichever way, it does seem very improbable that we will get it done towards the very end, right? Like, incredibly improbable still.
Let's get ready for a 13-parter.
Right, that's the thing, because I didn't want it to be, but it seems like it will, considering we have so much to talk about each time anyway, which at least we have something to talk about. I'm not just, scrolling through and not saying anything. I'm glad about that at least, but yeah, still. Sorry about that. I'm really sorry. I really hoped that we would be done with this earlier. I'm sorry.
Well, I don't think anyone here is annoyed that you're
I guess
you're
yeah.
having these conversations.
I guess I am the only one that's annoyed with myself over this, right? I guess I am the only one. You're right. Okay, well, this is the reality we have to live with right now. And I guess there is nothing we can...
This is the current society.
This is the current society, there is nothing we can really do about it. Something... I don't know if I should say it. So... Obviously... I don't know. Okay, I was just going to talk about future stream plans other than Disco Elysium, because obviously that's a new series that we've just started. We gotta come back to Yellow next week, I do think, because it's been way too long. Again, thought that these two would do it. Turns out they didn't, because I was talking about Caliborn way too much. So I guess we will just do the triplet of Homestuck, Yellow, and Homestuck, Yellow, and Disco Elysium next week, right? I guess we'll do that.
Yeah.
Hopefully we'll get a more sizable chunk of everything on Saturday. Again, we'll have way more time on Saturday than today, especially if I actually try to start early. Because today we actually talked about some other serious matters before we started stream, so that got into the way of things a little. But yeah, okay. I'm once again very grateful that everybody joined. That everybody joined and heard me up and wanted to contribute in chat. It always is a pleasure to hear you guys' input. And yeah, I'll see you guys later. Question of the day.
It has to be something about Caliburn.
Probably, considering how much we talked about him.
What about Arania? But Arania,
No,
Arania.
I like saying
Aranea.
I like saying Aranea. It's fun that way. I know it's
Maybe Arania next stream.
not. I think she will be less. Actually, no, she will be more relevant considering Game Over. But
Yeah.
Caliborning. Oh, this is a fun question. Okay, when did you start liking the character, if you like him at all? At which point in the comic? Because it's a little bit of a hard sell whenever we first start getting messages from him, right? And after that we all obviously have the saucy imagery, right? But even then, like, whenever you actually see, which is it, like, when you actually see the character, when you see him goof off with the console, like, when is the point where the character just like, okay, I actually like him? Or I guess, what do you like most about him too? That's, I guess, a good question too. Talking about the Caliburn in general. Okay, that's the question of the day. Sorry I wasn't able to read all of those last chat messages because I am actually kind of in a rush to end And yeah, see ya guys. See ya on Saturday.
Bye, everyone.
Sorry, everybody.
Bye bye.